Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Thotme here again. Hope everybody's doing well. It's beautiful out here in Colorado. Blue skies, sunny day. Weather's starting to turn, sunshine. It's really beautiful outside. So hopefully you guys can get outside and enjoy some of this weather, get some sunshine, fresh air. Today's discussion, if we want to call it that, um, is going to be about the second two phases of the spiritual journey. As I talked before, we had four different aspects of the spiritual journey, and the four are awareness, choice, feeling, experiencing, and letting go. So we're going to discuss the feeling, experiencing, letting go today. As I previously talked about, awareness is number one. Awareness is actually covers all the other three, the choice, feeling, experiencing, letting go. Without awareness, we can't know what we're choosing. Without awareness, we can't experience what we've chosen. And without awareness, we don't know what we're letting go of. So awareness is key in this whole understanding of the spiritual journey. Uh, and then the choices that we make after the awareness must be experienced. So once we use our intuitive guide, our heart space, to recognize what's going on around us, which then opens the door to the choices that are available that you didn't know were available. Once that happens, it's called the law of action. It's a universal law of action, which means I got to do something. I can't just sit there and say, hey, here's the choice I want to make. Oh, well, that's great. You can make that choice. But you actually got to act out the choice. You have to say, okay, if I'm going to go down one of three paths, I choose the middle path. Okay, then go. You need to walk and start and go down the middle path. Not the one on the left, not the one on the right, but to go down. That means there's action that must take place. You have made a choice to say, I'm going to go down the middle path, but now I have to step onto it. I must act. I must go forward. What that does is provides an experience of what that path might be. It provides a feeling. I become aware of what's going on as I walk down that path. I'm experiencing the path, which could have all kinds of different experiences as I continue to walk down the path. So awareness comes in big time as soon as I choose something, and as soon as I say, okay, I'm going to now act, I'm going to go down, walk the path. I still got to bring in awareness into the picture and see, oh, what's going on here? What does it feel like? What do I notice? Oh, there's a fox that goes by. There's hawks in the air. It's really breezy. It's really sunny. It's hot. It's cold. The trees are beautiful today. The flowers are starting to come out. There's this incredible awareness from the intuitive heart that opens up when I choose something and I actually act and I start experiencing what's going on. That's the third principle, feeling and experience. That is the third principle. I must feel, I must experience, which means I must act. And now we bring in awareness into the picture as we're feeling and experiencing it without judgment. If I bring judgment in, then my mind comes back in. Remember, it's the awareness of the mind that happens. And what we're trying to do is make sure, as we're experiencing things, that the mind isn't coming in and causing us to look at these things as judgment, which means they're right or wrong. Judgment isn't discernment. Discernment is to say, oh, this is hot, this is cold. It's not saying hot is bad, cold is not. It just says it's hot or it's cold. So it's more of a discernment. And we have to be careful also with that discernment. We can get caught up in judgment and think that the practical things that are going on are judgments. Not necessarily. So you don't want to necessarily get into your head about analyzing what's judgment, what isn't. Now you're in your head again. So now that awareness is of the mind. So it's a tricky, tricky business for sure. And to recognize what's coming in by using an awareness of the heart versus an awareness of the mind is very important. So as I'm walking down the path and I start to experience what's going on, is it an open experience? And what I mean by that is the heart open. Am I open to what's in front of me, what's going on around me? or am I judging it? Remember that principle we talked about in the last one is, am I being with or am I judging? Am I present and being with, or am I thinking about what's going on? We want to bring it to a place of being able to feel, experience what's going on, which means it's a being with, it's being present in the moment. So then I can have a full on, you might say, experience when I open up my heart, my intuitive ability to be present in the moment and to be with what is there. I can notice pretty quickly when the mind tries to come in. It's going to want me to judge something for sure. And eventually, if I allow myself to judge something, as I always say, the story begins. So it's not just enough to judge it. There's possibly assumptions or expectations that will come in. There's definitions that will come in, which means something's good or something's bad. And you can notice that what this really means is that we're living in a dualistic nature here. This is what we live in. We live in a dualistic nature. And the dualistic nature wants us to look at one or the other as being good or bad. It's pretty much the way it wants it to be. Instead of looking at what I love to talk about all the time is more of a pure dualistic nature, which means there's no judgment in the dualism. There's no judgment in any right or wrong. There just is. When I can just be with and be just is, then I'm with what's going on without judgment, and I can fully capture what is in the moment, what is in the expression of what's going on, what is in the experience of what's going on. Some people ask me, I'm kind of a big runner. I do a run every day. I do a lot of long runs, and they kind of look at me and say, well, you're kind of obsessed with running. And I said, no, I love running. And how can you get up every day and just go out and say you're not obsessed? Because every day is different. Every day I go out and I present my heart to what's going on. So as soon as I take a step out the door with Jerry, my dog, we go running and everything's different. It's never the same because I'm presenting myself to it in an expression of experience, not in just a doing, not just a thinking, but a being with. And so this feeling experience is, as you can see, is very crucial and really big in our journey because then we're living life. Life isn't telling us how to be as far as from our mind. There's no definition anymore. We're just allowing ourselves to be present in the moment. Once we welcome in that expression of the experience, so we've brought awareness, our intuitive awareness, to the experience of what's going on. We are fully in the moment. And that might last for a while. Some of my runs are 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 5 hours actually. I know you guys probably go, what? Some are an hour. There's all different kinds, but it can last for a long time to be in the experience because different things are happening all the time as I continue to run, as I continue to enjoy and see what's going on around me. So the experience can be short-lived. It can be within minutes, seconds, or it can last for quite a long time. Once the experience is over, and you'll kind of know that, it's like you'll just kind of know, okay, experience what is here is now kind of come to an end. There's usually like an apex that goes up and then starts coming back down again, and you can feel that in your intuitive heart. It's not a thinking of, all right, I want to know how the apex goes up and I want to know how it goes down. That's thinking, and now you're out of it. It's to come to the awareness of just feeling the experience as it goes to maybe an apex and then comes back down again. Once it comes back down again and the experience kind of is finished, this is where the letting go process comes in. Now, you've heard that phrase, I know, probably a million times, especially in your relationships. Oh, just let it go. Just let it go. That's all you got to do. Just let it go. And everybody looks at you like, how do you do that? Nobody's ever really trained me on how to let things go. Well, in this case, what we're doing here is when the experience is over, when it seems to come down to where now you're just back into a kind of a neutral place. What we do is we allow ourselves to kind of relish what we just experienced for a little bit. So it's called integration. So I'm going to integrate what the experience brought me, not from judgment. Remember, awareness of the mind is judgment. My awareness says it's over, and now I'm going to allow my body, my spiritual body, my emotional body, my mental, my physical body, to allow it to integrate what has just happened. After that integration period is over, so it could last a little while, it could last an hour, it could last 10 minutes, could be a day, it could be a week, who knows, whatever the experience is bringing you, to allow it to integrate into the body. Physically is a big piece, because then our cells are alive and our cells are really present and welcoming in, instead of stress, which is awareness of the mind, we're welcoming in a balance, you might say, an excitement, a feeling of something that just happened. We're allowing that integration to take place, and that can take a while. And once that integration is over, now we let go. We let go of what the experience brought us, what it felt like, and so on. How do you let go of that? What's the next step? Well, we come back to awareness again, and we say, oh, I'm aware it's over now. So let me go and allow myself to have another experience. And so as soon as that new choice, a new choice comes in, say, oh, I'm going to go to the lake now. That's a new experience. As soon as you choose to actually go to the lake, you remember you got to experience it, so you got to actually go to the lake. You can't just say, well, that's a choice I'm going to make. I have to go to the lake. As I go to the lake, the old experience fades away, because you got a new one that's welcoming in, and you're aware, you're in the moment, you're with the new experience. All of a sudden, the old experience walks away. You've let it go. It's still, the expressions of it, you might say, are still in your cellular body. You can retain what happened in that old experience. But basically, you're letting go of the old experience to clear the way to open up to a new experience. And what choices are available? I make a new choice. I let go of the old, and now I welcome in a new experience. And this just keeps going on and on. It never changes. We use these 4 principles: awareness, choice, feeling, experiencing, letting go, for the rest of our lives. It never, ever changes. Papaji, one of the great teachers in Hindu, was asked once from one of his students, because Papaji was talking about vigilance and to stay with your journey all the time, and so on and so forth. And a student asked him, he said, Papaji, are you vigilant in what you do? And his answer was so humble and so beautiful. He says, yes, until my last breath. How beautiful. How beautiful. Until my last breath. I am vigilant on my journey. I'm always aware to my last breath. I'm always choosing something till my last breath. I'm always experiencing something new until my last breath. And I'm finally going to let go until my last breath. So this continues on for the rest of our journey. And if I really can start recognizing the difference in those 2 awarenesses that we talked about, awareness of the mind and awareness of the heart, the intuition that we have present for ourselves, I can really get a sense of deepening. I can deepen my journey while I'm here, and allow myself to represent myself to life in a way that I wish to live with it, not that it wants to control me. So I present these 4 principles to you. I hope this made sense to you today. I welcome any questions, any thoughts, any comments. You can do that at tomsnitzius at comcast.net. I'm also on Facebook, so you can look me up on Facebook and YouTube. These are other places you can go to. I'd love comments. If you see this on Facebook, put comments in whichever way. I'm always open to anything. So allow yourself to check it out on YouTube as well. Bring comments there. Love to hear from you. I hope you all have a blessed day, a wonderful day. Allow yourself to live in your heart as much as possible. It's going to take you really far. And I'm really happy that you took the time to listen to this today. I hope it struck a chord in your heart and touched you in some way to help you find a little bit more balance into what's going on in this world, which is so crazy right now. We really need to love ourselves first, present ourselves to the world in a different way, and to be with what's happening and to be with people with no judgment. So once again, namaste. Have a great day. I look forward to your comments, and there'll be other videos to come. So love you all. Talk to you soon.